Verse 6. Now these were born to David in Hebron, and it came to pass while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David that Abner made himself strong for the house of Saul. At this time, King Saul was dead, but the house of Saul was still fighting David. And a man arose and said, I'm going to use the resources that I have to protect the posterity, to defend the posterity of the house of Saul. Abner made himself strong for the house of Saul. And I want to pick that phrase as I want to lead you to prayer now. Will you make yourself strong for a house? And while you may look at your family and look at everything that is not going right, you know, a point came when I was getting married. I had a little bit of a problem, and I was like, what surname do I adopt, particularly for my children? The name that I bear, the surname that I bear, Odoma, that I bear, is not my father's first name. It's not my grandfather's it's not my grandfather's name. My grandfather's name is Adon. Odoma is the name of the father of my grandfather. So that's my great-grandfather's name. My grandfather bore his father's name. He was Adon Odoma. My dad bore his grandfather's name, the same Odoma. When I was born, Odoma is my great-grandfather. That somehow became my son. This was what came to my rescue. A man can make himself strong for a house. And when you do that, that man hijacks he hijacks the identity of that house. Do you know that David said that it pleased God that the king will come out of his father's house, and then that among his brothers God liked him to make him king. What I'm saying is this. You may think that this is whatever, but practically speaking, for instance, you know that if you mention Bakari, there's one person that comes to everybody's mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that I don't know your family and I don't know your house, but I'm saying that a man can make himself strong for a house. The reason people now bear David is because of this David. That's why. David was not the firstborn of the house, but he was the one that put the house on the map. And so I told myself when I was going to get married that it will come to pass that every time people hear of Odoma, there will only one person that will come to their mind. It will no longer matter whose first name it was. A man can make himself strong for a house. And I know that you are complaining. I know you are not happy. I know if you have a choice, you will choose a different family other than the one out of which you came. But I want to say to you that it is too late. It's too late. You are where you are. But I can say to you that it didn't take God unawares. You may even be like Solomon, the son of the other woman also. When it was time for David to choose a king, all the wives that David married legitimately, none of their sons was God's choice. It was the son of Bathsheba. Do you know that they hated Bathsheba? Can I tell you this? They hated Bathsheba. Jewish historians, they hate Bathsheba with a passion. Scholars tell us that it is part of that hatred, dislike for Bathsheba. That's why they will not even mention her name. When they were going to add her to the genealogy of Jesus, you know they didn't mention her name. They say had him by her that was wife of Uriah. They couldn't come to call her name, but it was her son that God said, this will be my king. Wait, how do you go over the children that were born by legitimate wives and then you are choosing this accident? I want to say to you, they may not have planned to have you, but you were God's plan before you became his man.